What is happening, everyone? I am Yono, as you can see, and welcome to episode 78 of the What's Cookin podcast. As you can see, we're a man down this week because a certain somebody did not pull his weight and let the side down, and therefore has been given a retrospective 2-match ban, as the incident was not reported in the referee's report. So
we had to take it to the technical decision. We had to look at it afterwards, and you might have noticed that there wasn't a What the Cookout on Friday. So we've had to take action as What's Cookin from here on now. In What's Cookin, Josh, formerly known as the Josh Main Dog McDonald.
The Josh Main Dog.
Main Dog. That's the real one. But he might as well be the main dog. So the Josh Dog is on a 2-match ban, 2 podcast ban, this one and the next one. So if you are in this impromptu live stream, welcome to the world of What's Cookin of me and Yono. And just because it is a bit impromptu, because we don't want to ruin your time for watching the match later, breaking kayfabe, because people are going to be listening to this on Thursday, but obviously we've got the loyal YouTube following who will be watching right now on What's Cookin, obviously at YouTube. But anyway, I digress. What I wanted to tell you guys is thank you and subscribe, as always.
I favour that motion.
Yeah, but going back to the impromptu podcast, maybe next week there might be a special guest on. Who knows, Who knows? We'll see what happens. So that's always something to look forward to. But anyway, we've got a 2-man podcast featuring your favourites of What's Cookin.
The 2-man podcast.
No, we should do that. I want to do that even at the end of the year when it's What's Cookin. No, not a
Who's
poll.
the best member of What's Cookin?
No, we'll do the Cookerinos. We'll have an award show at the end.
The Cookerinos.
Yeah, so you can vote in what you think has been the funniest videos that we've done. Who's got the best series? Who's the best member? Then it'll all come out. We'll all know.
Who's got the best member? Ladies.
The real one. But anyway, yeah. If you like the Cookerinos idea, let us know, because it is something definitely we can shape up. How many Cookerinos you think you'd take home?
It depends how many categories there are.
But we definitely have to have it in, like,
most improved player.
Yeah.
I used to win that for the footy team.
Yeah, I bet you did. Oh, you can't have nothing else. It was the participation medal.
No, it's because I'm fat, so they assumed I was rubbish at footy, and it turns out I'm not actually that bad. So it was always a pleasant surprise, so I always won most improved player.
Ooh, he's surprising me. He can move well for his weight,
Exactly.
if he
got a good left foot, him.
I've heard it all before.
That old chestnut.
Yeah. So I don't know where you want to go. Our What's Cookin YouTube channel needs to hit us up in the chat, because we're gonna do a little bit of a laboured question time. The question time was a bit dead this week, but it's going to be everything what we're going to be speaking about anyway, because every question that we've got is relevant to every subject what we're going to be speaking about this week. But how are you feeling, Jon?
I'm good.
This is one of these podcasts where we can...
What number is it where he's like pissed but he's not trying to fight?
Maybe 6. Where he's got the tie on his head.
Yeah, I think I'm number 6 at the minute.
Did you see that funny EastEnders clip that was going around?
The one of fucking Sharon getting sparked.
You slut! It literally does a whoosh.
There's someone put on Twitter, when your ma shouts you down for your tea, but it's not done. Fuck off.
Seen that one, or when she says it's just a game,
yeah,
and you're like,
yeah, alright, shut up.
And then,
even my dad used to tell her to shut up when she'd say that.
Because that is just a ridiculous shout at the end of the day. Like, people who don't like footy will never understand how people like footy that much.
No,
and it's just like a love and an undying thing that you just can't explain to anyone else. Like, no matter how much we love the UFC or like wrestling or anything else in the world, nothing is comparable. We were speaking about it yesterday, and it's like literally there's nothing comparable to your club loyalty.
Yeah, like there's points where it's not that your loyalty wings or nothing like that, but your team go through sticky patches and you start to not feel like happy about football. You still watch it, like you stick through the times, but you don't enjoy it as much, and then your team goes through spells where they look unbeatable. And
well, it's not even unbeatable. It's even when you have a good run of form, when you like when we used to be in the top 4 race. Do you get what I mean? Top 4 is still one of them things where it's something to play for every season. I'm saying, well, I'm saying that like we didn't finish 4th last season. Do you get what I mean? But it was just one of them where it's something to play for, and obviously we've been spoiled this season to the point where, like, obviously it's not even on the cards not being in the top 4. That's like ridiculous. But I mean, going into it, that's what you're all playing for, because you're not going to win anything. But that's a trophy in itself to attract yourself as a big club. But because that's what it was for years, top 4, wasn't it? Like, that's the goal.
Yeah, before City and Spurs came into the mix, there was
nails
the big
on
4, and you had Super Sundays where they all played each other. Like, that was the thing. Like, every season there was always a Super Sunday where Liverpool and United, or Liverpool Arsenal, or Liverpool Chelsea, and then the other two battled it out on the later game.
It's funny to think about how footy's changed so rapidly, but everything, like, that just goes with everything. Because do you know what's a funny one now? It's coming up to a year ago we went on holiday, and think back to a time
it is fucking
how much things have changed from a year ago now.
Arsene Wenger was the Arsenal manager.
Yeah, but think about it. Like, yeah, that on the day we went, or the day after, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 4:20. It was the day of 4:20.
That's funny.
There was me minding my own business, and someone goes, well, minding my own business. Someone goes, Wenger's been sacked, and I was like, what? What do you mean Wenger's been sacked?
No, he hasn't.
Shut up.
No, he hasn't.
That was surreal. That was one of the single maddest days in my whole life.
Because you think about things in like perspective.
That is mad.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, that we haven't got Josh to sneak off to the edge and switch the camera back on this week.
We're exposing ourselves. Is it done now? Yeah, okay. But yeah, sorry for the little blip. But anyway, yeah, footy, it's crazy. What else have we got to speak about? We're only messing. we're not having one of them podcasts. We're having a deep, meaningful podcast where we can speak about our feelings and open up with each other. Because I feel like we all chat shit on the podcast, and it's all a facade. Let's open up, you know. Let's have a get together. Do you get what I mean? See, this is why you need to be watching.
If this camera goes off again, everyone send the police.
This is why everyone needs to watch the YouTube, because this is where it's always popping off. But anyway, obviously I digress. I'm trying to think of just like things that have been going on in life at the moment, where it's like, even though we've just been speaking about a year ago, like how much things have changed, think about like just all the little in-between stuff that have changed. Like, I can think about like just a personal one. Like, even when Josh asked us to go on clubs or whatever, like a few weeks ago, clubs or whatever.
Switched my Xbox on for weeks.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I might have been on for a flick or two, like literally went on for the fight, but I haven't been on my Xbox. Like, I would normally go on my Xbox.
Yeah, you're on it all the time.
Like, normally, but this is the thing, and then you think, what have I done with my day? And then you've just been doing mad stuff, as in, like, not mad stuff, but what I find that I do now recently that drives me round the absolute bend is I will just sit there on my phone, and then I'm like, what am I doing when I can be doing something else? Because you sit there when you're on your phone, like when you're on the bus going to work, or
that's my phone time. My phone time is on the bus on the way to work, on the bus on the way back.
This is what I mean. And then
so when a bog.
Exactly. And when I'm sat there on my phone, I'm thinking to myself, what, you strive to be outside of work or not be doing any like, if you've got free time, to not be doing What's Cooking stuff, and you're sitting there on your phone, crazy. But that's what people do, just sit there on Facebook, and it's mind numbing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going off on one of them tangents again, but it's just like, do you know, when people use Facebook to the point where you know absolutely everything going on in their life, and that's what I was saying to my sister. She come back for the weekend, and like, obviously when you're younger, because my brother and sister are older than me, and they obviously used social media when it first come out, but then when you see them growing into adults, you see them not use it as much, and I was like, when did you just like stop using it? Do you get what I mean? Because obviously at a point when you stop using it, and she was like around 23, something like that, and I was like, obviously I'm 22, so I was like, I actually might be coming to the end, and I'm sorry, What's Cooking, Cookerinos, because I understand that social media is like where we push ourselves as a presence and where our fans can all interact with us, but also at the same time it's fucking very bad for us.
I don't think I'll stop using it.
I mean, I need to stop using certain
maybe
aspects.
Facebook, I'll use Facebook a lot less, but I'll never not use Twitter.
That's what. No, I explained
Never
that.
not use Twitter.
Twitter's not even in the same conversation because Twitter
And
isn't.
Instagram as well. I'll always use Instagram.
See, I could give up Instagram. I could give up Instagram and Facebook, but
I could, but
they're the two things that I feel like are bad for me though. Is in like, no doubt you look at it the same as me, where you've got everyone you know on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not saying to say you haven't got people you know on Twitter, but on Facebook and Instagram, it's a majority of people you know or went to school with, college with, family members or work members.
It's people who like from the same areas as you and know the same people.
Yeah, that's what I
like
mean,
that.
and that's the thing that I'm caught up on about. Is in like, I do not want to sound disrespectful because this might be some of our fans listening.
It, you pussy hole.
This might be some of our fans listening, and I don't want anyone to take from what I'm about to say that I think like I'm this higher person to be like, oh, you're doing that, and like my stuff's well funnier or my stuff's better or blah, you should pay attention. I'm just at that point where I go on these things and I'm rolling my eyes just to the point where I'm thinking, do you actually think people give a fucking shit? And not to be nasty, because that's why I'm trying to say it now. Why do people think they give a shit about me and my like endeavours of pushing what's cooking on all social medias and stuff like that? Like, why do you think we give a shit about your YouTube videos?
The thing is, the reason people think that people give a shit is because people follow them.
That's the whole point. But that's why I'm in that rut, as in I follow countless amounts of people and got countless amounts of people on Facebook, blah blah blah, to the point where I don't want it to look bitchy that you're deleting someone or unfollowing them, because you'd still be cordial and like friendly with them if you're seeing them, or do you get what I mean? But it's at that point where like,
have you got, right, so you don't have to name names, obviously not going to expose ourselves, but have you got people muted on social media?
I could show you the long list of people. Yeah,
because I've got quite a lot of people.
No, but that's the point where...
don't you think that's mad that, like...
You follow them, but you mute them?
No, not even that. So, like, I get it that you follow people who... Like, you followed them from a time, one odd time you met them, or because you know them, or because they followed you, or whatever. Yeah. You do get people who you follow on social media. You think it's mad that I follow them. But then you've also got people on social media who you follow. And it would be uncomfortable bumping into them if you unfollowed them.
This is what I said.
To mute them instead so that they don't know.
No, I get that, but this is my whole point, is it shouldn't be bad to say, like, because this is the whole thing, like, your whole Facebook feed is people who you, like, have chosen to add or accept, and I've took that thing, but now that I'm an adult, young man, and I've like from the time of like 10 years ago when you've had this thing, and now you've just got this big massive shit sandwich that you just can't be arsed eating every day no more. I need to filter it out because the stuff that I look at every day, I'm like, it's mind numbing. Like, do you remember when we used to give Josh shit all the time about going on Facebook, and now he's not on it no more? But like, not to say Josh is this higher power just because he's quit Facebook, so he'll be back on it, and I don't doubt that he's still on it.
And we know why he's quit.
Yeah.
We won't expose him, but we know why.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Quit.
But anyway, going back to that, it's just one of them where it's mind numbing. Like, you know, the absolute worst. And I'm sorry, but this... Everyone who's watching who's got a girlfriend, or even my girlfriend includes, or just stupid shit, this new trend of saying happy birthday like 5 times on Instagram through a story, why? Like, even putting a picture on your own Instagram to say happy birthday, you get it. I get it if it was like us three, where it's like we work with each other, and I know that we're not a mate just because we work with each other, but our friendship has created something, do you get what I mean, that's now turned into work, so to speak.
The thing, I get what you're saying, but what you got to remember is, lads, all their lives revolve around their friendships with those people.
we've discussed this off camera that we know that their friendships aren't revolved around all this.
I know that we know it, but you know full well what's so. We're talking about Instagram in particular. Instagram is everybody's best version of themselves.
No, I get that.
So that's why they put it on their Instagram stories. Love you. Can't wait to see you on the weekend for a dance. Can't wait to look like this again. Blah 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 blah.
No,
it's like, don't get me wrong. It is annoying. I find it annoying as well. But at the same time, I get it.
No, I completely get it. Like, I love it when I tell someone that, like, and you know they've never thought about it before. It's never crossed their mind what social media is actually like, and you watch like the whole complexion change, and they're like, "Whoa, yeah." Because I'm like, yeah, why would you put on what you're doing in your house when you're sat there like looking like a scruff or just not? That's why when you know when someone's real, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not just because they put mad stuff on social media, but you can tell when someone's not faking their funk, so to speak. But it is Instagram and like Facebook's just that thing. And like, do you know what the thing is? I love to think people will be calling me a hypocrite because they go, "You did this on Facebook, you did that on Instagram, you do this for like blah blah blah." I don't think I've ever changed my standpoint on the fact of I only put stuff on to make people laugh.
Yeah, your
like
social media activity is purely for the basis of getting laughs. Like,
and if that means laughing at or laughing with, I'm not arsed. And like, that's testament to who I am. And it's like just one of them. Like, I know I'm getting all fucking weird about it, but it is like, it's literally the last couple of weeks, and you're just thinking, why do you put this stuff on to people? And you think that they care. And I'm sorry, people, but people don't care. And I don't want to go, because did you listen to that Kevin Hart podcast with Joe Rogan?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
See, it's boss, because it's dead positive and like dead like reinforcing of like why you shouldn't just shit on everything. And like after watching it, I'm like, yeah, like you don't always have to like find the bad things and stuff. And like it's easier to say that than why it's good. But the thing is, like, you can see through people's personas. Do you get what I mean?
No, I know.
This is where my internal dilemma is like, I'd rather give someone the benefit of the doubt of them being, oh, that's nice, but you know everything's for like clout, and I'm tagging this person in this because they think I'm mates with them, to all that sort of shebang. And you're like, why you're asked? But and it social media, look what it's done to me. I know I'm using my platform to
spread hate.
Not even spread hate.
Love, man. Love everyone.
Like
ELE. If you've seen the film Rebound with Will Ferrell, ELE. Everybody love everybody.
I agree with that, but you do me head in. just do me head in. Sorry, but honest to God, I try and give you all the benefit of the doubt. But this was like me social media tirade on girls. Like not even to say that I don't like girls. To just the very annoying.
I, for one, would like to go on record and say that I love girls.
No, I love girls as well, but they're also they're not funny. They always tweet about the same stuff every day.
Especially the fit ones, and especially even Mommy Bird. Love you.
So,
even though she never watched a single episode of What's Cooking in her career.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for the text off me birds after this saying you need to delete this podcast.
Yeah, fucking.
This has been the only real moment in What's Cooking history, by the way, people. But if you want to speak about if you want to speak about something else, don't fret, because otherwise you won't be able to stop me.
Yeah, I think we should move on swiftly before Charlie starts.
And this is what he's
saying. This is why women shouldn't vote and fucking all sorts.
Fear 500.
Shall we move on to something that might get you in a slightly better mood?
It's not better mood, but go on.
This past weekend was a sporting weekend, and we won't speak about Tiger Woods because I've already made a video on it. So
it's
go
in
and watch
YouTube.
that if you haven't already.
It's in your sub box.
But we also had UFC 236 over the weekend, which was one of the card wasn't necessarily stacked, but it was one of the most anticipated cards so far this year, just because of the main and the co-main.
No, you look at them two fights, and obviously they could both main event their own UFC cards by a mile and be the only card on the fight, and people would still pay go and watch it. But carry on.
But obviously if you watched it, then you know what the fights were. It was Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum for the interim middleweight title, and then the main event was Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway for another interim title, but this time at lightweight. Which it's rare that you get two interim title fights on the same card. To be fair, I can't think of the last time that happened.
You can obviously think of two title fights, but it was one of them where it was
not interim ones.
No, but was you bothered about it?
No, that's the thing. Like, interim titles get quite a lot of like bad press for being shit. Basically,
no one's ever gonna chat shit about them
never
again.
Never ever again, because both those two fights are the two best fights this year, comfortably.
And obviously, because all of it's on the line, even if people want to call the interim belts a fake belts, but it's still, you don't even have to sell it. Like, the worst part about all this type of stuff, when the UFC go mad about it, is like they keep on speaking about like the same point, which is always in everyone's head. So it's like you have to keep on speaking about weight. They'll always just keep on speaking about it. So they keep on bringing it up. Like, it's just silly. As in, like, why don't you guys like these interim title fights? Do you think we're just making belts? And I'm like, no, it makes sense for them to, as Dana White says, imagine the co-main was a 3-round fight.
No, I know.
You were robbed of the actual fight. The actual fight. So.
And it would have had a different winner.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Kelvin Gastelum won 2 of the first 3 rounds, without question.
Oh, no, he never.
Without question.
He didn't. He won the first, and Adesanya won the second and third, and then, lad, shut up. He dropped them in the set. So, we'll do a chronological order of what happened, people. 1,000,000% Gastelum won the first one.
No question. 1,000,000% Adesanya won the second one.
Yeah. So then the third one, that was that was just the touch him up round. That
third round was close round, lad.
Did they give it
very, very close round?
Well, if Adesanya didn't win that round, Gastelum would have won. So it would have been Gastelum's round.
Lad, that last round was a 10-7, lad.
It was a 10-8. It got given a 10-8.
It should have been a 10-7. Knocked him down 5 times. Four times.
Yeah. But yeah, the third one was close, and then the fourth was Gastelum's because he rocked him and put damage on. Then the fifth round,
did he cut him in the fourth? Because he got a cut over his eye, didn't he? Couldn't tell.
Then the fifth round, it was 2-2 going in, all on the line for the belt. Who wants it more? All the grit and the determination, and that was like the round what just makes the UFC. But it makes everything good about everything, as in like people trying, because that's the worst part about anything, when you can tell when someone doesn't try, and you know the better. Because it could have been easy for any of them to give up at that point and roll over, but there was no roll over in either of them. They both understood the stakes of the belt, didn't they? As in, both got to win it. Both got to win. But Adesanya clinched it.
The maddest thing about it was that it was so close going into the last one, and I remember it's one of the few cards I actually remember watching, like, because they're on so late. It's always grim to think that something's gonna happen, but sitting there waiting for that fifth round to start, both of them head to head looking at each other, it was almost like, this is it now. This is gonna be. This is it. This is literally dead or alive. Whoever comes out of this is the champ. Whoever wins this round is the champ. And luckily for us, the one who we wanted to win, which has happened no time since we started watching UFC together. Fucking hell, I think the person we wanted to win has won maybe once
and
or
obviously
twice.
By the way, I like to say I called it because you were both describing Max Holloway on one of the last podcasts.
I did think Max was going to win.
Yeah, no, so I'm not going to say I didn't think he was win, but I said, because we're all saying he's going to win. Obviously what happens was going to happen. It is what it is. But going on to it, Adesanya cutting that. Well, I could believe it, but it is funny because we were speaking about it yesterday again, where you can't explain the tension of watching something like that, because
Yeah.
footy's tense and like footy's worse, so to speak, because there'll be something like that.
Oh
But
no, it's not. It's not. It's not worse for gripping on the edge of your seat, not knowing what's going to happen.
But
Because you know, if your
in the
team's
stakes of a
if
game,
your team's got the ball, they can't score. So like, if you're 1-0 up and you've got the ball, don't get me wrong, you're enthralled in the game, but you're not sat there gripping the table like waiting for something to happen. Whereas in that fifth round, when Gastelum got into the pocket and was throwing them fucking absolute cannon left hands, every single one that he threw, we all went, "Oh my god!" If one of
we
them
did
lands,
it when
he's
he
dead.
when he first opened up in the first round. We were like, "Oh, he looks a bit big, doesn't he?"
It was madness.
And he's just
Absolute
slightly
madness.
moving out the way. But it was boss, because it's just like, that's everything good about fighting. Someone who's skinny and slick and can move out the way, and a short wrestler who
Yeah.
throws haymakers.
He did get caught a few times.
Yeah, no, but he's always bound to. You can't imagine him to never ever get hit in a fight.
no, obviously
No,
not.
but that's what people
Obviously
are
not.
expecting. Going, ooh, we got
That's 'cause
touched
it
up.
happens in boxing.
No, but they're going, he got touched up, and I'm like, yeah, because he was in a 5-round fight. Yeah, if he'd have not come out with no scratches on, you'd said it was a crap fight.
Exactly. They're the type of fights that do, like, you know, when you get them up and comers who put a run together and then they go to that fight that's gonna actually test them.
Make or break. Well,
and
yeah, no.
either come out of it looking better or worse. Like, there's never no in between.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been, even if he'd have lost, that was the fight that showed that he's not just a fucking slick kickboxer who can slide out the way of shots. Not only can he take a fucking shot, he took some big shots. He can fucking knock people's spark out as well.
Yeah.
I know he didn't stop Gastelum, but it could have been stopped. And Gastelum at that point had never been knocked down at middleweight.
Hadn't he?
And he knocked
Fair
him
enough.
down 4 times in 1 round.
Fair enough.
Crazy. And he's fought big punches. He's fought Bisping, he's fought Jacare, he's fought Chris Weidman. So he has fought people who've got a good fucking shot on them. Especially like Jacare and Bisping.
No, it's mad to think about it, but MMA math is just crazy,
Never
isn't
works.
it?
Never
Like,
works. Not
obviously.
in a million years.
because everyone can beat everyone if they've got a different style, but just because someone beats someone else doesn't mean that they're
all it
better.
takes is one punch. Like,
That's
you
what the
can beat
maddest thing
someone
about
with
it
one
is.
punch. It doesn't matter. Hypothetically, obviously, the odds of it happening are 999,000 to 1. But if I had a fight with a UFC fighter, and by some
You got a
miracle
puncher's
managed
chance.
to land the first punch without them hitting me,
Not the first.
I could win. If it's the perfect punch, by some miracle I throw the perfect
Do you know what the
punch,
funny thing is?
then I could
I
win
can
the fight.
proper imagine this in your head, like the slow-mo scene of you standing and cross it, like and like you look at your left hand, like like it's gonna do something, just you in slow motion, and they just jab you dead fast. Dead. My nasal, my cavities. Someone call my mom. Oh yeah, fighting sports, 'cause it just gives you the hair standing up on the back of your neck. As in, like, it's funny. Like this whole podcast, I've spoke about it. It's funny how things have changed. There was a time in my life where none of this was.
Like
But it's not like it. I never ever. It's not give it the chance, because you never think it's accessible, and it's only until someone shows you, and then you go, whoa. But then I'm not gonna lie, like, obviously when McGregor cut about it was just one of them things where this is the craziest thing ever.
You come into it at the time when the biggest, like, there's 2 Conor McGregors in my eyes.
Oh no, you're
There's
telling
Conor
me.
McGregor pre Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor post Jose Aldo, and you came into it just as
The real him
it
was leaving.
happening. It was like he was due to fight Aldo, so you got the Aldo build up, and then the new Conor McGregor
Yeah.
and the old Conor McGregor. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I watched every UFC card before we started watching it properly, because I didn't, but I watched it. Like, I did watch it quite a bit, and that was the turning point. In fact, you could say when he beat Chad Mendes was the turning point, because he was meant to fight Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
From that point onwards, McGregor then has been the Conor McGregor that we think of today, like the celebrity. But before that, he was Conor McGregor, the fighter, and he was the fella who used to turn up to press conference and tell exactly what he was gonna do, and he'd do it, and you'd be like, this fella's crazy. And you'd get people who'd say, oh, he's fought no one, he's getting lucky, blah de blah. And then he goes and beats Chad Mendes. Oh, he only had a 2-week fight camp, whatever. Watch when he fights Aldo, knocks him out in fucking 15 seconds or whatever, 13 seconds. And then you're like, what have you got to say?
Do you know what the worst part about that is? Like, obviously I love that I got to experience it, but as an uneducated fan, if I was an MMA fan, the gravitas of that situation would blow my head off. Like, could you imagine, lads? Could you imagine right now if
John
we
Jones,
liked it?
John Jones getting knocked out in one punch by Thiago Santos.
Not even that. Just the fact if we liked it now as much as we did and stayed up to watch this fight, and he just went in and done it, and we like literally all look at each other like me and you looked at each other when Goldberg got when he beat Brock Lesnar, and we were just like, that wasn't meant to happen. You're thinking of all these, the leg kicks will chop him up, and then how's he gonna feel when he gets into the later rounds? And it was just over before you could even say anything. It was just done, one punch. See it, go ahead. What, knife on for staying up? Do you know what's fun? You could tell all the fake fans from a mile away.
Stayed up for that. You mentioned,
yeah.
You mentioned that's a godsend.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Woo!
Thank you. I made up that was on camera because people don't even understand it. The struggles that we actually go through.
Horrendous.
Americans, if
it was light out the other fucking morning when it finished.
Americans have got a bloody cheek. WrestleMania that we'll speak about not too long in this podcast, few more minutes down the line after we finish speaking about whatever. WrestleMania was on till like 1 a.m. in America, and you were fuming, going, "Oh, I've fallen asleep doing all this shit."
Cheeky bastards. Anyone from America watching this, which there probably isn't, but if you are, fuck you.
Proper cheeky. Us in the UK
don't realise how good you've got
start at 10 o'clock WrestleMania and did not finish till about 5:30. Like, that's like an actual day of watching wrestling in the night.
7 hours, lads. 7 hours of wrestling. And
in the night.
No word of a lie.
When you should be sleeping.
I couldn't tell you more than 5 results.
I know you couldn't, because you weren't. It's not that you weren't paying attention and you fell asleep, but we were all
gone.
I was going to say we were all falling asleep, but we weren't, because Josh didn't, but me and Yano didn't take the knock. Had a fun time, so to speak. There's a picture that you're never going to see that'll sum up that night. But
if he ever unleashes it, I've got pictures of him.
Are you fucking messing? You've got pictures of him. Do you not think I've got the bank vault? I'm waiting for one of you to overstep this line, and then it's all coming out. Your birds are going to leave you.
You're rat bag. I delete my WhatsApp chats, don't forget.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I've already got pre-recorded screenshots.
Safe bag.
Yeah, it's funny
Safe
one
bag,
that. But what was we speaking about? UFC's boss, wrestling's also boss. We'll just speak about WrestleMania now while we're going on about it. But we didn't speak about Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. People are going mad. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier for the interim lightweight championship. It was all going down. There was a lot of excuses for the first fight that they had. It was Max's first. He was only 20. And people thought with this rematch now, because he did look slick in the first fight, didn't he? Like, he had the better of Dustin Poirier, and let's say it like that anyway. Looks slicker, and you're thinking more accomplished, beat all these names. Obviously, Dustin Poirier is on a tear at the moment. Beat legitimate fellas anyway, let's put it like that. 2 meet head to head, and straight away round 1, Dustin Poirier put it on Max Holloway to the point where it was like,
the difference
out of the water
was the difference in the power of the both shots. So, like, weirdly, you know, if you look, you know, in that fight, Max Holloway landed more significant strikes than Dustin Poirier. But if you looked at them, you wouldn't think that.
No, this is
because the work that they were both putting in, high volume, but the shots that Dustin Poirier was catching Max with were putting him down or stumbling him. Almost every single counter shot that he threw was rocking him, especially in that first round. Like I didn't think he was gonna get out the first round.
No, neither did I.
Didn't. I thought this is it. This is fucking game over. This I can't believe I've seen this happen, and he managed. I'm glad that he did last the full 5 rounds because it shows that he is a true champ, which I don't have no doubts that he is at all. I love Max Holloway. I think he's the best featherweight of all time, even after that. But it just goes to show for me this latest craze of swapping divisions to go and beat the champ. It's not as easy as people think it is.
Well, this is the point that I was just going to bring up. Like, I was actually furious at Dana White because of this whole situation, only because after like the Ortega fight and all that, and like he might have had weight cut issues, which he's always made weight. He was going up to 55. He's going up. I want to see him fight these fellas. He's going to be a future champion there. All this, literally the press conference after the fight, like he was like, I've been telling this guy to go up to 55. No one thought that he'd be so small. And then he's like, I want to see him go back down to 45. And I'm like, you've just tainted this fella's legacy.
Shut up. You've
forever.
Ruined it now. You've ruined the whole thing.
Forever. As in, like,
who's to say he couldn't put a run together at 55?
Well, it's not even that. It's just, it is hard to go up and, like, put on the weight and use it in the right ways. But still, like, forever and always now, no one can ever say that Dustin Poirier is better than Max Holloway because he's beat him twice, but everyone would still say that Max Holloway's better.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That's down to more, though. Then, I don't know, you're probably right. Only because it's for the work that Max has done in a different division, but then that's like saying it obviously it never happened, but like you would say Mighty Mouse was better than Dustin Poirier, but who wins that fight? So of course Dustin Poirier wins because he's bigger and stronger. That's the reason why Dustin Poirier won that fight, because even though Max is naturally taller than him, Poirier looked bigger. Like,
well, and he'd been at lightweight for longer. And it's just one of them where,
and his shots had more power. Like, that's what it come down to at the end.
Obviously, you've got to iron out your weight as well, as in like you can make the weight, but it's also trying putting the weight into the power, as in like
I get
no doubt Max Holloway had looked the same.
As good as it can be at that weight.
Dustin Poirier's had a few fights to like iron it out to see if he needs to cut more weight or can put more weight on going in.
The thing is, even though he's fought at 45, Dustin Poirier's a 155er.
Oh no,
Max
everyone.
Holloway is a 145er.
I know.
I know he struggles making it, but he's like you say, he's never missed weight, so like he is
only the Khabib one without weighing fair.
That
no
didn't
one
count.
No one
that
counts
was at
that.
55 anyway.
Exactly. So that just makes you think about how much weight he was actually cutting.
Yeah.
If he couldn't make 55, never mind his normal weight of 45.
Like I was saying before, it goes back to this craze of people jumping divisions to try and win belts. And
I've been put off by the 65 division now, you know.
I think it's got its merits, but it's also got its negatives, because
people will just jump up all the time. Like literally
the
all the
negatives
time.
it will be full of people.
Kevin Lee's
from 155 and also from 170 who aren't good enough to make a run in those weights. So it would have like your Kevin Lee's, your Michael Chiesas. I hate to throw him into this mix, but your Anthony Pettis's.
He'd defo be in it. Mind you, I don't know, you know. But then that's another opportunity to say, like, double champ, like, different divisions anyway, not at the same time.
But I do think I like the idea of another division because it's better for the fighters physically, like, in terms of the health. But
No,
I
I
do
know.
agree with what Dana says when he says that it'll just be full of people who
What's it going to be called?
can't win a belt at. Yeah,
It will.
true. What's it going to be called? That is a good shout, actually. Super lightweight.
Imagine it goes to something like that.
Might
So
be.
there's lightweight and super
Super
lightweight. I'd
lightweight
hate
or
that.
light welterweight.
I'd hate that.
Super lightweight sounds better.
Oh, they will. They'll do like light welterweight. Or...
Super lightweight sounds the best.
No, it's ridiculous though.
I
Do you
know,
want
but
that?
it's what else? There's no other weight in between. Like that's
Middle? No, I've already done middleweight.
that's what there isn't one.
Because middle's just funny.
It like they are the official weight classes. It goes featherweight, lightweight, welterweight. That's the way it goes. Even in boxing, but they have the in betweens, obviously, like super welterweight and stuff.
That
like
sounds ridiculous though. I can't keep up to date with that.
Yeah,
I honestly
for
couldn't.
every division in the UFC, there's 3 divisions in boxing.
That's nuts.
So like
there's an under, middle, and
there's
top.
a light version and a super version of. I don't know if it's all weights, but definitely at middleweight and welterweight, there's a super welterweight, which is the same as light middleweight, but they call it super welterweight.
You've got my head.
Middleweight. So there's a super version of like most divisions in boxing. Like there's the next one up. The next one up. It's the same one with super put in front of it, which is mad.
Oh no, couldn't be bothered. That just has literally got my head up the wall thing. Super duper champ Wham Bam
But then
is fighting.
do you not think they would have thought it was stupid calling it light heavyweight? But now it's just commonplace.
It's like a non-onomatopoeia. It's a juxtaposition or an
Two words
oxymoron.
that mean 2 different
Oxymoron.
things.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like light heavy.
Yeah.
Light heavyweight.
But like that probably sounded stupid at first. Light heavyweight, that doesn't make no sense. And now
Fair
it's
enough.
got the best fucking fighter of all time. innit?
Yeah. No, but that's just a name. Like, there's no super.
They could have called it cruiserweight.
True, there's not a cruiserweight.
No, but it's mad that cruiserweight in
It's
wrestling
205.
is the little fellas,
Yeah.
and in boxing it's the one below heavyweight.
But that's what they'd still think it is on the wrestling. You're like,
Crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, Rey
sounds.
Mysterio fighting fucking Tony Bell.
Yeah,
or
imagine.
Usyk.
Imagine.
Fucking Usyk had flatten him. Mad.
After that lovely tirade of the UFC, we'll do a nice little wrestling wrap up. Only because it was WrestleMania last week and we haven't had a podcast to speak about it, but we will just speak about our brief time of watching it. 'Cause we hadn't done one in ages, had we?
No,
Like,
proper. What was the last pay-per-view? Was it the Royal Rumble?
yeah, no, actually,
We
because
didn't do that, did we?
that was fun little fact to
Mad, we
everyone
didn't even
watching.
do
That.
that.
Was the night that I edited the first episodes of the Laugh Gaff.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh, that's nice.
I know, so I sat there all night editing the first ever episode, and it's funny to think where we've come now, because we're speaking dead nice about the wrestling, but I've got a bone to pick with Vince McMahon himself. You're asking why? Have you noticed that this week's Laugh Gaff has fucking mysteriously disappeared? What the fuck?
What?
Didn't you see it?
No.
You're lying. You're messing.
What?
The Laugh Gaff's been claimed by WWE.
Has it?
So
Copyright, bastards.
it's not even a copyright. It's just been, do you know, not.
Oh, I did see it. And I seen it in the email in the What's Cooking inbox.
Yeah.
I did.
So, Vince McMahon, WrestleMania 36, me versus you. You've got a year to train for it, you old fart. So, you know where I am, and we'll sign the contracts. You fart.
Live. We're live.
Fart.
We're live.
Nearly that. A couple of months ago, we'd actually had done that, and it's not even we'd actually done it. It's like, it's horrible because we actually have to make this conscious effort where I've just like went to say something and my mouth like, don't do it, don't do it. But funny,
Yeah,
isn't
fucking
it?
hell, you can't even get your videos on YouTube fucking
Monetized.
advertised without swearing in, so we're fucked.
Yeah, 'cause you just said fucking
fuckety fucked.
10 times.
That's what we are, fucked.
The wrestling, yeah, we had a fun time. So even though we were bitching about it before, like, it is horrible staying up for it, don't get me wrong, but it's like what it comes with. Because could you imagine sat there when my dad's in, it's like, yeah, the wrestling's on, you're gonna have to go upstairs now. Take that. Get to bed. Get to bed. The boys are in. Yeah. Oh, do you know what the best part about the wrestling or UFCs forever now is? Uber Eats.
Yeah. Maggie's.
Game changers. People.
It shuts at 12 o'clock though, lads.
Yeah, no, but whenever we do something like that,
We'll
normally, but they're that early anyway. If it's good enough to be there.
Wrestling, we normally get to you.
Yeah, earlier than that. And then it's one of them. If it's the UFC, if it's good enough, we'll be there earlier.
There's a UFC card this Saturday as well on early. I forgot to tell you, so I'll tell you now in front of everyone. It's in Russia, so it's on at like 6 o'clock.
Who is it? Alexei Olenek versus. I can't believe that's that soon. So yeah, as you keep on saying, the wrestling, loads happened in it, not really. It was just one of them WrestleManias where like it's the new guard, and you can't really complain that the old timers are coming back and taking the new guard spots. But it's not that nothing really happened. It had all the WrestleMania payoffs to the point where if they didn't pay off, you were like, why have you just done that? So it was like just a feel-good WrestleMania. But the only critique I've got of it is, right, so you've given Becky Lynch a big crowning moment at WrestleMania where she's won a double belt, and it was, she pinned Ronda Rousey clean, and it was the culmination of like a feud, just being over, whatever. One simple thing would have made that moment from being good to iconic, and I'm using that word on purpose just to be like, it would have just been one of them things that just would have stood the test of time, and you look back and go, yeah, every single big WrestleMania win, and I mean like a big win where it's something like that, has confetti at the end.
I thought you were gonna say pyro going off.
Confetti at the end. No, they always have the WrestleMania at the end, but give the girl, the man, some bloody confetti. Just would have made it all better. And I know that's just like one of them silly little nitpicky things, but could you imagine Daniel Bryan double belts without the confetti? It just wouldn't look the same. And Chris Benoit with their big hug in the confetti just wouldn't look the same. And that's the thing, that story that she's just had is pretty much the same as everyone else. It's like
underdog.
It's the oldest wrestling
behind them and pushing them to the top, man.
It's the oldest wrestling story of all time. Every time when they do it properly, and that's just one of them silly things where you're like, why wouldn't you have done that? The other things, what happened in the wrestling, no, I don't want to bitch about it because it was good, but also at the same time it just like proper demeans the whole thing. But the difference between UFC is you always know that it's going to go from good to bad, and there's a certain point when the bad stops and just all good, but the wrestling has to keep you watching. So they'll split up the shit, and then that's why like when Brock comes out first, and it's like, yeah, you got a boss match, but then you got to watch the bloody crap ones, and then they'll throw in a good one, and you're going to watch the crap ones. And then
tired, like we always do it, don't we? We sit there, not so much with the UFC because there's less fights, but with the wrestling, we always go, what matches are left? And we go,
yeah.
Like, it's always more.
Sounds like a zombie of Minecraft.
There's always more than do you know what I mean?
No, I completely get what you mean.
When it comes to the wrestling, always.
And the thing is, with the UFC, what goes on our side is we actually don't know what's going to happen. Not saying that we know what in the wrestling we know what's going to happen, but there's an actual thing. There's an actual thing in the UFC where it could all just end in a moment. And that's never going to happen in the wrestling. Someone's never going to just get someone in the headlock, are they? And tap them out.
Imagine, let's go to bed.
Yeah. Oh, it's finished.
Well, you know what time it's going to finish, so you know, like, you're waiting for it to get to 5 o'clock
but how many
before it's even remotely going to finish.
How many times have you been
wrestling,
done? Yeah, no.
UFC.
I get that. How many times have you been done by that, though? when we thought, yeah, this is going to finish then. And you go,
No, it only happens
Lad.
on Brock Lesnar ones.
lad, we've had that happen before. No, not like a quick one. I mean, when we thought it'll finish at a time, like, yeah, this has got 4 o'clock written all over it. What's that? And then you're looking at the clock and it's been an hour and a half, and you're like, what the hell happened? What happened?
Yeah, you are right. You are right.
No one.
But I did enjoy it. The parts I can remember, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
No, I did. I enjoyed it. There was nothing to say that I didn't like about it, and it's not that it didn't have one other qualm. Sorry, don't want to give it all the shit in the world, but we did discuss it. There was absolutely no personality about that WrestleMania whatsoever, was there?
It didn't have a thing.
And
like, most WrestleManias have a thing. Like,
and you don't want it to be that it's got a thing, but there was nothing about this one to be like, this is WrestleMania.
Not a memorable about
it. Just
it.
Didn't feel WrestleMania.
That you can attach to it.
Just didn't have that thing where it was like, yeah, it's WrestleMania. It was just a big, massive LED board and a ring.
Yeah.
And it was
there
crazy.
Was no production value whatsoever.
No, it was upsetting. Like, don't get me wrong, you think about it in the grander scheme of things, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how much could the wrestling actually make? As in, the millionaires, billionaires, whatever, off making fake fights. But it must be getting to a point now where you're like scraping the bottom of the barrel to the point where they're maybe riding the luck, as in, they obviously have to cut back on certain stuff. That's why there's not pyros and that no more, because they can't always.
I don't think that's a money thing.
It definitely is.
No, not a chance, lad. They've got more money than they've ever had before.
No, I get that.
They're making more money than they've ever made before. It's a health and safety thing.
I don't think it is.
I think it definitely is. And it's probably a logistical thing.
Maybe. But I definitely do think it is money costs. Just because it's just one of them things where you don't need to do it for every show, and they're like, well, it is burning this much money, and if we...
I'd be disappointed if it is money.
I reckon it is.
I'd be very disappointed if it is
Think
money.
about it. Right.
Tight bastards.
So with all that wrestling talk, we'll wrap it up with some nice football talk. Football tonight. We only have to, only because you noticed that this podcast started early and Liverpool are going to be playing in like an hour or something, an hour or two, something like that. It's 6 now, so in 2 hours Liverpool will be playing. You'll know what the team is in an hour, and it's just been a crazy ride, hasn't it, gang? If you're not a Liverpool fan, or you are, like, no one, and I mean no one, would have thought this season have gone the way it has. Like, you'd obviously say who you think's going to win it, and obviously I said who I thought's going to win it, but you still don't think it's going to go the way that you think it's going to go. And don't get me wrong, like, I proper majorly spat me dummy out a few months, like, when we had our, like, few draws.
Around the Leicester.
Yeah, then that's the exact point I fucking spat me dummy out, where I was like, I can't do this again. I can't do football again where you get your hopes up to have them crushed. And, like, don't get me wrong, I completely understand people that the season mightn't go the way that I want it to. But at this point in time, I've had the realisation, even if Liverpool didn't win the league, I could not moan one single bit, because this has been the best season of football I've ever seen in my life. I might ever see in my life, because there's not one thing to say that Liverpool played good this season. Like, obviously, I've got high hopes to say
other teams can catch up and shit like
that.
No,
obviously, and this has just been that season of football. This season of football where I was like, I couldn't even say nothing. It's just we've been outmatched by a better team who've been regarded as might win a quadruple, and that's never happened before. Like, think about it, and we're matching them pound for pound, like shot for shot, and it's just one of them things. But to wrap it up all nicely, Liverpool are going to win the league. So, how many games is left? 4 games.
Yeah. We've got 5 because we've got an extra game.
So, Liverpool have got 4, City have got 5. Liverpool are top 2 points clear, but City have got a game in hand, with still left to play Spurs and Man United, and Liverpool have only got Cardiff.
Who's this, City?
No, Liverpool. We've only got
Cardiff,
Wolves,
Huddersfield,
and Wolves,
and there's another one. Oh, I was fucking talking about it on the video the other week. Cardiff, Wolves.
It's a nightmare.
Huddersfield and
Newcastle.
Newcastle away.
Yeah. So you look at the draw and you look at the fixtures. Obviously, if you look at fixtures, go, yeah, we'll beat them, blah blah blah, and then that's how you get yourself in them holes. But all we can do as Liverpool is win all our games, obviously, because that's what football's about. But we'll see how it goes. But Champions League action tonight: Liverpool versus Porto, second leg. Let's finish the job.
Well,
Barcelona in the semi-finals.
So it's a different kettle of fish now. Because do you know what though? It also has an impact on the Prem, because now, obviously, it would have been in the back of their minds anyway. But now, Man United have to get in the top 4 to qualify for the Champions League next season.
I love the fact that it all went tits up now. It
would have been in the background that if we can win the Champions League, we don't need to finish in the top 4. But now that's gone for them. And I think also
you didn't think they were going to win it, and surely
I thought if they got past Barca they would. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, definitely.
You think they beat us in the semi-final?
Over 2 legs, anyone can beat anyone,
lad. We've never been beat over 2 legs since we've had Klopp, ever.
No.
Not once, and the only 2 times we've ever been beaten in the European competition with Klopp's both in finals.
Yeah, but he's never won a trophy. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to say that, but stats, you say anyone can win over 2 legs. Klopp's never been beat over 2 legs.
Yeah, but like I
said,
for
Liverpool,
anyone can beat anyone over 2 legs. Like, just because no one's done it yet doesn't mean they couldn't do it.
No, I know, but
like Barca could very easily do it in the next round. Very easily. They could take you apart. You could also take them apart. That's why I'm curious
to see what you're going to say before I have what I'm going to say. But what do you think that'll be? Let's say Liverpool win tonight, which obviously, imagine looking back at this in hindsight and Liverpool didn't win this. Oh my god, I'm having a That's So Raven moment.
I don't know, because it's Liverpool and
it's
Europe.
Yeah,
so
come on.
You've got to take it into account.
And the only English team.
Are you trying to get me to predict it?
Well, before I obviously just say Liverpool are going to win, I want you to say what you're going to say, because the only English team to ever beat Barcelona is Liverpool.
I know. I think it's going to come down to whether or not, to how close you are in the league. That's what it's going to come down to.
We're past the point of if we're going for the league or going for the Champions League now. All legs are in both baskets. Like, why wouldn't he be? Do you get what I mean?
So say City lose their extra game and then yous play Barca in between.
Klopp wouldn't put a weakened side out.
I'm not saying he put a weakened side out, but if you think that wouldn't affect the way the players think, you're crazy. You're crazy.
But there's not been one point this season. Don't get me wrong, I've seen
this. This is the thing. I know what you're saying. There's not been no point this season where we've done this. This has never happened, blah, blah. Yous have never been in this position in your lifetime.
Not in my lifetime.
Not once, lad. Not once in the last 30 years have yous been in this position.
What, for a double?
Yeah. So
yeah, okay.
Anything you can say to me now that's never happened, this never happened, is completely null and void, because this has never fucking happened, ever. Not once. Yous have never been about to win, possibly winning the Champions League, and also possibly winning the league in the same season. Yous have never had to go. Yous have always had to go. It's always been one or the other. It's never been both at the same time. Never. Do you know what
the worst part about this is now? The fact that it is like up for debate, and you'll speak about it as in like, will they do the double? And like, I can comfortably say, hand on heart, every single Liverpool fan would just say, I'd be happy with one. Not to say that obviously I want us to win both, obviously. I just want us to win one. Just fucking give me one.
The worst thing is
one.
Yous are so close, but it could still, like,
that's how
I don't want to jinx it,
football is.
This season could go from being like, I know what you were saying before, saying that Oh,
couldn't do it again.
No. The other thing, when you were saying I can't complain about this season, you're telling me if you lost again in the Champions League and didn't win the league, lad, that'd take a fucking fucking chunk out of your soul.
Yeah,
Jesus
I'm not
Christ.
saying it wouldn't, but what could they physically do? Is in, I'm not going to call for the manager's head and go, Klopp needs to be sacked, because anyone who says that's just ridiculous.
Obviously.
Like, anyone who says that's not a Liverpool fan and doesn't watch football.
What
and
the fuck's me dog doing?
That's not what I think it is.
Get away.
It's not. Sleeping on the homeless fella's
bed. Me dog's a knobhead because I forgot to lock her out. Sorry, people.
But yeah,
Go
like
away.
I'd never say to sack Klopp or anything like that,
No,
and it's just
not.
silly because people who say that, just like, how could you even say them words? Obviously, every Liverpool fan is sick of not winning stuff. You don't need to tell a Liverpool fan, oh, we need to. Who else is going to come in and do the same job that he's done, where it's literally turned this diabolical team, like, not from the Brendan Rodgers era, but Brendan Rodgers still had a lot on his plate from the shit sandwich that everyone had served up, but he's literally been the only manager who's literally come in with results, changed the entire club top from bottom, and changed the team to the point where teams used to be able to come to Anfield, or we play away at there, go, and you're like, if you have a go at these will crumble and you'll beat them. That just doesn't happen no more. That just doesn't happen no more. Like, the mentality changed.
It'd make no sense to sack him anyway, because you've given him the time and
to build a
team, and he's built the team. Your team now is at the point where I'm looking at your starting 11 and I'm struggling to pick to get rid of anybody. The only place that needs strengthening is the midfield and the bench, but the starting 11 is virtually
we need another
untouchable.
striker, only because when Firmino's not doing it, it's we legit need an impact. Like,
that's what I mean. The bench, you could do with something on the bench, but the starting 11 is almost untouchable. Like, there's not one player in your starting 11 who I'd think he shouldn't be there. Get rid.
Well, it used to be like that.
And get someone else. There's nobody like that.
It used to be like that.
No one at all.
Every single player that walk into everyone's team in the league and comfortably be the best player, or one of the best players, I'd like to say.
Yeah, probably.
That's football.
Goalie would. Right back probably would. Van Dijk would. Robertson would. Like I say, the midfield's the only one, bar Fabinho. But they're still performing well, very, very well.
No, that's the funny thing about it, because
obviously the front threes.
I'd rather everyone give the midfield shit and just be like, oh yeah, that is weak, but they do a job. The only difference is, like, they are all quite similar. So it's the only different type of midfielder we need is, like, literally a Coutinho again. Like, literally just someone to do the out of the box.
Yeah, but
something that someone doesn't see.
I think the way that you play, it wouldn't suit that type of player, though. I think
but you need to work hard as well.
If you played as a creator, if you played with a number 10, say,
that'd be for me, It would be for me, They'll think about it, and you get another striker and drop him back. Yeah, because you can't play with a number 10 and a false 9. Like, you just can't do it. So if you played with a number 10, you should also have to go and sign a striker who's going to score you 20, 30 goals a season. Because you have lost that, basically, by taking Firmino out the game. It's crazy how we've played with a false 9 for this long, and it's like no one's sussed it yet. As in,
it's a hard position to play against when it's done right, because
you think they're playing the striker, but they're not actually being a striker. It's in the
gap between the defence and the midfield. So the midfield, if the midfield drops deep to cover him, it leaves space for the other midfielders, and you get the game, you lose control of the game. And then obviously if the defence follows them out, then you're dragging the defence out of shape, and that's where Salah and Mane get in, and you can't let them in. Like, simple as that, you can't let them in. So
just satisfying.
It's so hard to play against. It's such a hard system to play against. That's why you regularly twat teams games that people think are going to be close and you twat them, and that's why.
I'm trying to think what my most satisfying win of this season is. Just, it's become obviously more tense is like a stupid way to say it, 'cause it is.
United.
Nah,
Shaqiri scored off the bench.
Nah.
Or us at Anfield when you twatted us.
There hasn't been one where it's... The thing is, when the season started, it was like, oh, Liverpool on the longest unbeaten run, Joe, for whenever, and then they stopped doing it because they were like, fucking hell, it doesn't look like they're going to get beat anytime soon, so we're not just going to say they're unbeaten in this many games. It was just like, oh my god. So we were just like, we have battered teams, but it's always been like a 2-0, maybe a 1-0 last minute. But it was still one of them where, yeah, mind you, that Firmino hat-trick's a piss take. But these last couple of games have all been like literal finals, celebrated them like you've won something at the end of it. Like, I don't think you understand what it means going into like the 80th minute and you're drawing or getting beaten. You're thinking, this is it, the season's over.
And you still win.
And the season.
And you win, and you win, and you keep doing it. This is what I said to you. I can't remember what game it was, but there was a game recently where you won. And I remember saying to you and Josh and to people in work who are Liverpool fans, I said, you don't win them games unless you win the league. Like, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to the team that finishes second. It never happens. Like, all the years United were winning the league and
1-0.
They'd be 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go and you still thought they were going to win, and they fucking did. They still did. That's the feeling I get off this Liverpool team now. You could be 2-0 down at half time tonight, with 10 minutes to go tonight, and I think Liverpool are going to win, because this is just your season. That's why I think if it doesn't happen this season, it ain't going to happen.
Right.
It ain't going to happen.
Do you know everything you've just said? Why aren't you a Liverpool fan?
I'm not.
Lad,
I love Arsenal.
Lad, this is the thing.
Love
You could be here for long this ride. It's not even the fact that we like go out and do things, but lad, you know.
I'm on my
Sorry,
own
Josh,
ride.
if you're listening
I'm
to
at
this.
the start of my own ride with Arsenal.
Yeah, but that's not the point, lad. Like, I want to experience these moments with people who actually know stuff about football.
Oh, Josh,
that's why I said sorry, Josh.
Don't match ban.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, it beat boss, but there's even all my mates from when I'm younger, everyone's an Evertonian or an Arsenal fan. I struggle to find an actual Liverpool fan who knows what they're talking about. Because I understand everyone looks at Liverpool fans as like, oh, you only support them because they're good. But it's like, obviously this doesn't accumulate to your certain thing. But it was one of them where, like, you support your dad's team sort of thing, and like, I'd never ever tell me dad that I didn't support Liverpool. I couldn't imagine it, because it's just one of them things that doesn't come into your mind, but I just think about it. If I had a kid and he come back and was like, oh, support Everton now, I was like, pack your bags.
Don't get me wrong, I feel a bit sorry for me dad, because obviously he brought me up as a Liverpool fan, but it's not like I changed teams when I was like 10 or 11. I literally changed teams as soon as I had a clue about football. Like, not had a clue of what to do. Like, as soon as I watched football and thought, I like football, I supported Arsenal. It was like when I was 4.
Fair enough.
That I changed.
It's just one of them things. I can't.
I've got cold hard proof for anyone who wants to debate it. I've got Arsenal kits in the bedroom from 2002-2003 season.
Fair enough. Oh my god. Do you want to see him in them now?
Which still fit.
Yeah, let's
For
get a picture of him in them now.
Who like a man in footy kit.
Full kit. Baby kit wanker.
With the little socks on.
On your toes, on your fucking cock. Have we got anything else to speak about?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, Game of Thrones is boss. I won't give you
watched it.
I know, yeah. I'm not giving you a spoiler review. I'm just going to give you a little summary of, like, this does go towards Jono, but I'm not going to say it does, only because I actually really do want him to watch it, because obviously you'll love it, and there's a reason why everyone else loves it. But as I started the podcast, I'll now finish it with my same sentiment of, Joe, even these people, you'll have definitely seen it. I don't even watch Game of Thrones. I'm probably part of the 1% who's never seen Game of Thrones.
Well, it's not a good thing.
Nobody cares.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah, I know it's not.
It's not a medal. Do you think I don't want to have watched Game of Thrones?
Lad, because you experience what everyone else is about to experience. That's why it's easy for me now to not go on Twitter when it's out, because I'll think to myself, if I went on Twitter and seen what happened in an episode, it'd be over. I'd kill myself. Only messing. But anyway, yeah. Watch Game of Thrones. Don't complain that you haven't watched it, because it's very uncool and unoriginal. You
look like a knobhead.
Yeah, you do. You're basically just saying, I don't like good telly.
I'm too cool for this.
No, I'm too cool, or I don't like good telly.
Yeah.
Well done, you like.
Watch, but you'll fucking sit there and watch fucking Towie or whatever bollocks.
Coming from a person who's never watched Game of Thrones. So if
and who has watched Towie loads.
Yeah, Arj. So if you have liked this episode of the podcast, always subscribe and do whatever you do on your little SoundClouds and your iTunes apps. Gives us loads of support. Lets us know that you like it, and it lets other people know that you like it as well, so then them other people will like it as well. We need to get out there, God, just help us a bit, please help us. Follow us at What's Cookin Pod and What's Cookin Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at King Mouse, King MAU5. Follow Yono at RichHomieYon_. That's for Twitter and Instagram, both of yous. And
follow Josh to
Mint,
because he can fuck off.
Yeah, before I wrap it up, next week guest, make sure you tune in to see who it is and what we're going to speak about.
It's a good one. It's juicy.
See you after.